Hi, welcome back and happy Friday. I am glad to be back. I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. I'm having a lot of fun making them. It's really great to have a nice dedicated spot to share my expertise, because my social media accounts and my website are all about showing my work, but actually a lot of it is up here in the knowledge that I can spread. So this has been so much fun. Now today's one is actually more website related. Now, full disclosure, I am not a website expert. I am not a web developer. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm none of those things. But websites are so important. Obviously, you know that websites are the business card of the 21st century, but they are so important for your social media marketing. And that's because if you're working so hard on your social media and you're getting likes and comments and people are clicking your ads to go onto your website, that is fantastic. But what if these ads and this content is leading them to a website that just frankly sucks or doesn't convert well? Then that's wasted time, energy, and a lot of the time, money. So today we're going to talk about how to audit your website to check whether it's performing its best within your capabilities and knowledge in order to best leverage your social media marketing. Okay? Obviously, if you are genuinely concerned about your website, or if the topics that I talk about today identify for you a lot of issues with your website or quite difficult issues, I would recommend finding yourself a really good web developer that you can rely on, because in those cases, generally, they can do a better job and they know even more what they're talking about, and they're going to get you where you need to be, okay? So, obviously, websites are all different, and that's what's wonderful about them, but there are a few things that you can look into and fix in order to have them perform even better. Some of them are going to be really easy, and some of them are going to be a bit more difficult. We'll start with the easy ones and we'll move our way up. And if you ever want specific advice, or you just want me to take a look at it, I'm more than happy to. Just drop a comment down below with your website and I'll check it out, and I'll let you know if there's anything immediate that I see that I think that you could do better on. Remember, this is with the idea of making your website convert to sales. So, step 1 is the text readable. This might seem obvious, but it's not. If you're using lots of twirly script writing, or it's teeny tiny, or it's really, really, really big, or it's all jumbled in one corner, if the text isn't readable, people ain't gonna read it. They're gonna leave if they can't read it. So, if you might be like, this is the cutest font ever. It's got all these little twirlies and swirlies. No, I'm so sorry. If it's your branding to have that, you might need to find a similar but easier to read font, and even then I would recommend using it sparingly on your website. Try and have something that's very easily read. Try and have it at a normal text size. If you're not sure what that is, go on any social media platform and see how they've had it, because they've done the research. They know what size people want to be reading it. Make sure, check your website on multiple different devices, your phone, your laptop, someone's iPad, all of these different things, to see whether the text is laid out properly on all of them, so that it's not just sitting funny, overlaid over an image. Speaking of images, have your background be one blank color. Don't have photos in the background where the text is written over it. Don't have lots of big patterns where the text is written over it. Just becomes more difficult to read the more busy the background is. And we'll continue talking about images. So, are your images any good? This one is a little bit more subjective, but I want you to look at your images objectively, and then look at your competition's images, or a similar brand's images, or just a brand that you like's images, and see whether yours match up. Now, not all of us can afford an expensive photographer or an expensive camera, but what we can do is we can work on the lighting of an image and the layout of an image so that it's appealing. So if your images need a little bit of work, I would definitely recommend you do that, because the more beautiful and the more your images show your product or your service in the best light, the more likely your potential customers are going to become current customers. Now, this one is very important. but it's a little hard to figure out if you're not used to it, which is where I would get people to go on your website and ask them to do it for you. Is your stuff searchable? Is it easy to find what people want on the website? So that might be the product. Is it easy to find your main product or your products or anything like that? Or is it easy to find the page explaining what your services are? But then, is it easy to find the FAQs? Is it easy to find the shipping information? Is it easy to find out contact information? These things are very important, and the less people can find, say someone has a simple question about shipping information. If it's too hard to find the shipping information, they're gone. I'm so sorry, you can have the best product in the world, but if it takes too many steps for people to figure out what they need, then they're just not going to stick around. So this is a little harder because for you, you know where everything is on your website. What I want you to do is I want you to find someone who you know isn't always on your website, and I want you to say, can you find my product? Do you have any questions about it? Was it easy to find answers? Was it easy to find this? Where would you have expected to find it if not where you found it? This way you can mold your website to what users are more likely to be looking for. Now, a good way to do this is to get 2 or 3 people to do this same task and look at their feedback. If they're all saying the same thing, then you know that you have a serious issue. If only one of them is saying it, maybe it's not that bad. Or if they're all saying different things, then that becomes a little bit more confusing. But make sure that people can actually find what they need on your website. Now, this one is a little bit more difficult, but you need a privacy policy. A lot of platforms these days come with them built in, but you need it. If you don't have an obvious privacy policy, then you're in trouble, my friend, because Facebook, Instagram, all of them, they want to send their highly important, highly expensive traffic to a good website. And the best way for them to know that is to know that you have a solid privacy policy on hand for them, because those platforms are reading your privacy policies and checking that you're going to protect their users. Why? Because imagine if they were sending thousands and thousands of Facebook users to just consistently crap websites. People would just stop using Facebook, and that's not good marketing for them. So check you have a privacy policy and make sure it's up to date. It's a boring one, but it's very, very important. Lastly, and this one you might want to talk to a web specialist about, or you might need to have multiple people run through it. How easy and how user-friendly is it to check out a product? So I mean actually purchase a product. Do they have to go through a bunch of different pages, fill in their address twice because you can't, put your billing information into the same slot as your shipping information? Is it getting them to answer a lot of things? Is it making it difficult for them to pay? Do you not have a normal payment option like PayPal or Visa? All of these things are just more hurdles for people to jump through, basically jump over. So you want to make sure that your purchase process is as streamlined and as usable as possible. And this is going to be difficult for you to judge. So I think you should at least get a few people to run through it and see what their feedback is, if not actually talking to a website specialist. Now, I get it. Websites are a nightmare. I get it. But they are so important to get right, because if you are trying to sell online, you need one, but you need one that's effective. And anything you do on social media is just going to be wasted time and money if it's going to a shit website, basically. I'm sorry to say it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. If you do want some just direct feedback on your website, feel free to drop the link below. I'd be more than happy to have a look at it for you and give you some feedback. If your issue is with your social media, I do offer free social media audits. I'll leave a link down below, and you can get some direct feedback on what you're doing with your social media and whether it's working or not. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful or insightful or just full of information. And I'll see you next Friday. Bye!